We stood at the edge of the rooftop, the city gasping its last light as if it, too, were tired of pretending. Vanessa clinked her glass against mine. To us, she said, grinning, the sky behind her bleeding gold and lavender. To us, I echoed, but my voice felt like a borrowed thing. Then, like it was a punchline, she added, "You're not special, you know." My smile didn't falter. I took a sip, let the wine coat my throat like armor. "Excuse me?" She tilted her head. "I mean, you're talented, sure, but so is everyone. You think that makes you untouchable. I never said that. You don't have to," she said, eyes narrowing. "It's in the way you walk into a room, like it owes you something." I turned slightly, facing the skyline. "And what does the room owe you?" "Vanessa." "Oh, everything," she said, laughing. "But I don't expect it to pay up. That's the difference between us." "That's not the difference," I said quietly. "No?" she asked, swirling her wine. "Then tell me." I let the silence stretch just long enough for her to lean forward, like she was reaching for the words. "The difference is," I said, "I don't have to set fires to feel warm." Her lips parted, but she didn't respond. Just looked at me like I was something she hadn't decided to kill or kiss yet. "Ela," she said finally, "I've always looked out for you." I laughed once, soft and bitter. "You mean you've always looked at me like I was a mirror?" Her voice dipped. "That's not fair. Neither is erasing someone and calling it honesty." "I didn't erase you," she snapped. "I woke you up. You've been coasting on praise and politeness for years." "You call that coasting? Do you know what I had to bury to get here?" "I know exactly what you buried," she said, stepping closer. "Because I helped you dig." I stared at her, the glass cold in my hand. "Then why the sudden truth-telling, Vanessa? Why now?" She shrugged. "Maybe I'm tired of pretending, too." I set my glass down on the ledge. "So what are we now? Rivals? Strangers?" She stepped beside me, shoulder brushing mine. "We're still us. Just unfiltered." "No, we're just what's left when the filters burn off." She looked at me, really looked, like she was counting the cracks. "Does this ruin us? It redefines us. And you're okay with that?" "I wasn't," I said, "until 5 minutes ago." Vanessa's gaze softened, but only a fraction. "I don't want to lose you." "You already did," I said. "You just didn't notice until I stopped playing along." She flinched. "Just enough." "I never asked you to play." "No," I said. "You just made sure I knew what happened if I didn't." "I pushed you," she said, "because I thought you needed it." "No, you pushed because you need to win." And I finally realized I'm not competing. She looked away, fingers tight around her stemmed glass. "You really believe that?" "I do now." Vanessa turned back to the view. "It's easier to paint me as the villain. You painted yourself when you said I wasn't special. That was a test," she said. "I wanted to see what you'd do with it. And now you know." I whispered, "I'll burn the damn painting." For a second, she looked like she might laugh, but it caught somewhere in her throat. "You know I loved you, right?" she asked. I blinked. "Do you still?" Vanessa closed her eyes. "I don't know." "Then I'll take that as a no." She reached out, touched my arm. "Don't do that. Don't turn this into a clean break." "I'm not," I said. "It's a deep break." She dropped her hand. "You're angry." "No," I said. "I'm awake." The air turned colder, the kind that wraps around your spine and whispers of endings. "I guess that's it," she said. I guess so. Vanessa stepped back, wine glass still full. You'll miss me. I looked her in the eye. I'll miss who I thought you were. Her mouth curled slightly, something between admiration and ache. She turned and walked toward the stairs, heels clicking like punctuation. Halfway down, she paused. You'll be fine, Ela. I know, I said, and this time, I meant it. Asterisk 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 you. Always took the long way, Vanessa said as she lit a cigarette. Even back in school, you'd circle the block just to avoid the shortcut. It wasn't a shortcut, I said, folding my arms. It was a trap with garbage bins and leering frat boys. She exhaled. Still, you liked control too much to be efficient. I stared at the ember of her cigarette. That's funny, coming from someone who couldn't let me finish a sentence without reframing it. Oh, we're doing this now, she asked, one brow raised. We already did it, I said. On the rooftop. This is just tracing the outline. Vanessa tapped Ash against the concrete ledge. Ela, come on. You're being dramatic. No, I'm being detailed. There's a difference. All right, then, detail it. What have I done that was so awful? You made me small. That's not an answer. It's the only one that matters. She turned toward me, the city casting her in half shadow. You think I wanted you small? You needed me to be. That's not fair. It's accurate. She held my gaze, then looked away. Give me an example. I stepped forward. You remember the pitch for DeLuca? You said, let Ela lead. But 5 minutes in, you were translating my words like I spoke a foreign language. I was clarifying. You were controlling the room. Someone had to. I laughed once. God, you really believe that? I know that. I saw their faces. Ela. They weren't following you. They weren't following because you kept cutting in. She shrugged. I saved it. No. You stole it. Vanessa's face tightened. That's how you see it. It's how it was. She took a slow drag, exhaled through her nose. You've been holding onto this for how long? I'm not holding it. I'm examining it. Finally. And what does that accomplish? Clarity. Accountability. You want me to say, I'm the villain. No. I want you to stop pretending you were ever the ally. She flinched. But it passed quick. I've defended you. Ela. Backed you. You presented me. Like a project you could take credit for. That's not true. It is. And it's woven into everything. The compliments that end in caveats. The invitations you forget to extend. The way you said I was too quiet to lead but perfect to follow. She stared at her shoes. I thought I was pushing you. You were burying me. A beat passed. Then another. I didn't mean to, she said quietly. But you did it anyway. She swallowed. I needed to shine, too. I never dimmed your light. No, she whispered. But mine flickered when yours burned steady. My voice dropped. That's not my fault. I know. We stood in silence, wind threading through the gaps between us. You could have told me, she said. I tried, I said. But you made it so hard to be heard. Her voice cracked. I didn't realize. That's the problem. You never did. Because it wasn't convenient to. I didn't think I had to watch every word. No, I said. Just the ones you wrapped in silk and sent to bleed. She blinked. Ela, you asked for detail. I said. Now you're getting it. She looked at me like she didn't recognize what I'd become. I still care about you, she said. That doesn't erase what you did. I'm not asking it to. I'm just trying. Trying what? To hold on. I shook my head. You can't hold what? You hollowed out. She stepped forward. So what? This is goodbye. It's recognition. Of what? Of everything I let you do. And everything I won't allow again. She stared at me, the cigarette now burning close to her fingers. I was never your enemy, she whispered. No, I said. But you were never really on my side, either. Her shoulders dropped. You're different now. No, I said. I'm visible now. Vanessa dropped the cigarette, crushed it beneath her heel. I'm sorry. I looked at her. Really looked. I believe you, I said. But that doesn't fix it. She nodded once, eyes glassy. I wish. Don't, I said. Wishing won't rebuild anything. Vanessa stepped back. You deserve better than what I gave. I know. The wind lifted a curl of her hair as she turned. This time, she didn't look back. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. I pushed my laptop across the table. Open it. Miles glanced at me, then tapped the touchpad. Password. Same as before. He typed, paused. Whip. Me. I nodded. His eyes skimmed the screen. Jesus. 5 years, I said. Quiet hours. Weekends. Flights she didn't know I took. Why didn't you show her? Because she would have talked me out of it. He looked up. Vanessa? I didn't answer. Miles clicked into one of the folders. Brand concepts. Mock-ups. You coded this. Most of it. By yourself. Yes. His brow furrowed. Ila? I didn't trust her with it, I said. Not because she'd steal it. Because she'd frame it. He sat back. You think she would have reshaped it? I know she would have. She did it with everything else. He nodded slowly. So why now? Because I'm done hiding it. Miles leaned forward, clicking through more files. You're building something again. I watched his hands move. Not building. Becoming. He smiled faintly. You always had the clearest mind in the room, even when no one listened. Especially then. He stopped on a folder labeled Silent Phase. This pitch deck. I revised it 32 times. He turned to me. You still want to raise. Eventually. But not yet. I want control first. You'll need a team. Carefully chosen. He tilted his head. Not her. Never again. Miles hesitated. You know what she'll say if she finds out. She won't. But if she does, I met his eyes. She'll say I betrayed her. And what will you say? That I owed her nothing. He studied me. You're sure. More than I've ever been. He sat with that. You've changed. I realigned. A flicker passed over his face. Respect or regret. I couldn't tell. You should file for IP, he said. If you haven't already. I did last week. He laughed under his breath. Of course you did. I stood, crossed to the window. Downtown blurred in the glass. All glitter and distance. You think she ever suspected? I asked. No, he said. She was too busy orbiting herself. I turned. That folder. It kept me sane. When she made me doubt my instincts. You kept you sane, Miles said. The folder was proof. I sat back down. I need you to go through the UX notes. Brutally. I can do that. And the forecast models, I want a second look. Don't go easy. I won't. We were quiet a moment. Then, you still love her? He asked. I love the version I met at 22. I said. The one who didn't need to win every moment. Miles nodded. That version's gone. I know. He tapped the table. This what you're building, what do you want it to feel like? Unmistakably mine. He smiled. Then don't compromise. Not even for me. I won't. He leaned back, arms crossed. You're done asking for permission. I never should have started. Miles opened a doc titled North Star. He read for a while, then looked up. This is clean, he said. Sharp. I'd invest. I'm not taking your money. Why not? Because I want your voice, not your check. He laughed. Fair. I closed the lid of the laptop. It stays between us. For now. He nodded. I can keep a secret. I know. He stood to leave, then paused. You planning to tell her? No. Even if she asks. I held his gaze. Especially then. He smiled, soft and sad. Proud of you, Ela. Thanks, I said. And I meant it. **** Mara leaned over the cafe table, her voice low. You saw the post, right? I read it twice, I said, stirring a coffee I didn't want. She knew what she was doing. Mara raised an eyebrow. So you think it was intentional? She used my language, my taglines, twisted them. She didn't name you. She didn't have to. Mara sighed. You think she's coming for you? She already did. That post was just the announcement. Mara pulled out her phone, tapped, turned it toward me. Comments section. Look at. Who liked it? I scanned the names. Familiar. Industry. One I'd pitched to last month. She's poisoning the well. I said. I thought maybe it was a general jab. Mara offered. She's never general. Every word of hers is sanded to fit. Mara hesitated. There's something you should know. I met her. Eyes tell me. That summer you remember the photos you took for her brand page? Yes. She told people you hired a stylist and copied her shot list. My pulse slowed. What? She said you were trying to rebrand yourself in her image. I was her image. I helped her build it. I believe you, Mara said. But others didn't question it. I sat back. Why are you telling me this now? Because you're not the only one she's doing it to. Just the one she's most afraid of. I looked down at the table. She smiled when I took those shots. She laughed. She needed them. Then she needed them to disappear. I shook my head. She's strategic, but not original. No, Mara said. She's persuasive. That's worse. I exhaled. I knew she was calculating. But this, it's targeted. She sees you rising. She sees herself fading. Mara leaned in. So what's your move? I don't know yet. You're not going to respond publicly. No. Why not? Because she thrives on public spectacle. I thrive on execution. Mara smiled. I like that. I glanced at her. You always knew, didn't you? She nodded. But I wasn't sure how far it went until recently. She always said, I was lucky to have her. That's her whole thing, play mentor, play muse. Then step on your name when it's convenient. She didn't step, I said. She erased. Mara tilted her head. You're not erased. You're just off her map. Then it's time to redraw the map. She grinned. That's the Ela I remember. I closed my eyes for a second. It hurts more than I want it to. It's not weakness. It's evidence. I opened them. You ever confront her? Once, she said. It's not personal, Mara. It's branding. I laughed, bitter. That sounds right. So what are you going to do? I finished the last of my coffee. Finish what I started. No announcements. No noise. Mara reached across the table. Good. Because she's watching. I know. She'll poke again. She won't get the same woman twice. Mara's voice softened. You really did love her, didn't you? I nodded. Enough to think she wouldn't do this. Mara squeezed my hand. Then let that be the last illusion. I already buried the others. She leaned back, serious now. Then go make something undeniable. I stood. I already am. The office smelled like primer and potential. One desk. 2 chairs. Bare brick. Mine? Noelle circled the empty space, sketchpad in hand. It's raw, she said. Like, aggressively honest. Good, I said. I wanted to make people uncomfortable before it inspires them. She stopped in the doorway. You're serious about the Billboard? For months. Top of Wilshire. Her eyes widened. That's not quiet. It doesn't need to be. Just needs to speak louder than she ever did. Noelle grinned. You want type that slices or seduces? Slices. But with elegance. She jotted a note. And the brand name, Relay. Her pen paused. It's perfect. I want movement in the topography, I said. Subtle distortion. Nothing literal. Noelle nodded. Imply change. Not chase it. I smiled. Exactly. She looked at me. Does she know? She will. Noelle hesitated. You sure you're not just... This isn't reaction, I cut in. It's reclamation. She nodded. Then let's make it surgical. A knock echoed down the hallway. Darren stood in the doorway. Crisp shirt, no tie. Hope I'm not early. Right on time, I said. He stepped inside, gaze sweeping the walls. Minimalist. Bold. Budget conscious, I said. Same thing, he replied. You ready? I nodded. Conference room's imaginary, but the pitch is solid. We sat. Noelle passed him a tablet. He scrolled through mock-ups, eyes narrowing with interest. This works, he said. It repositions authority, I said. It flips the lens. Darren looked up. You think you can pull this off without press? I don't need press. I need resonance. And the media brand. I closed on it yesterday. He blinked. You own it outright? Shell company, I said. 2 clicks ahead of anyone looking. Darren leaned back. I've backed a lot of people, Ela. Not many like you. Because I don't ask for applause. He smiled. No. You ask for precision. I watched him. Are you in? He nodded slowly. Silent capital? Strategic access. Nothing more. Good. He set the tablet down. Vanessa will see it. I'm counting on that. Noelle looked between us. What happens when she calls? She won't, I said. Darren raised a brow. You think she'll stay silent? She won't have room to speak without naming me. And she won't give me that. He laughed. Calculated vengeance. No, I said. Clean erasure. Noelle leaned forward. We thinking grayscale for first wave? With one color, I said. Deep red. Barely visible until you focus. She scribbled. That's brutal. It's honest. Darren stood. You've got my signature by end of day. Thank you. He offered his hand. I shook it. After he left, Noelle closed her sketch pad. You ever miss her? I miss the person I made up in my head. She tilted her head. So what do you feel now? Clarity, I said. And hunger. Noelle grinned. Let's feed it. Asterisk asterisk. The 3rd time she called that week, I answered. Hey stranger, Vanessa said brightly. Busy saving the world. Just juggling, I said. glancing at the time. How are you? I miss you. I smiled into the silence. You've been active. To active. My brain's fried. You wouldn't believe the meeting I just had. I probably would. She laughed. God, I need your sarcasm. It keeps me honest. I let that sit. You always land on your feet. Not always. Not without you. I walked to the window, watching the light shift against the office floor. I've been meaning to call. Things are full right now. I figured. A pause. You've been quieter lately. I've been focused. On what? Things I've let sit too long. She exhaled. You know, I was thinking about our Barcelona trip the other day. That rooftop cafe. The one with the orange chairs. Yes. God, we were so obnoxious. Laughing like we owned the place. You did most of the laughing. Well, I was high on espresso and your ridiculous optimism. I hummed. Different decade. She was quiet a beat. You sound different lately. I am. What? Changed. I stopped shrinking. Were you? Often. She hesitated. I never wanted that. I know. You don't sound sure. I'm not sure it matters anymore. She swallowed. I didn't call to fight. I'm not fighting. You're not reaching, either. I'm not performing. Vanessa's voice softened. Ela, I care about you. I believe. You. You just don't care back. I do, I said. But not in the same way. There was a pause. You're upset about something. I'm not upset. Then what are you? Clear. She let that hang. I miss your messier version. She wasn't sustainable. She was vulnerable. She was edit-friendly. Vanessa exhaled. You think I edited you. I think you preferred the rough draft. That's not true. You were never interested in the final copy. That's cruel. It's accurate. You're distancing. I'm calibrating. Ela, she said gently, this isn't you. It's always been me. You're just meeting her now. She went quiet. Is there something I should have done differently? She asked. I didn't answer right away. It's not about one thing. It's about accumulation. So we're, what? Polite strangers now? No, I said. We're honest women with history. She blinked through the line. I don't know how to be around you like this. You don't have to be. I want to be. That's not the same. I don't want to lose you. You lost access. Not affection. She breathed. That hurts. It's supposed to. Vanessa's voice dropped. What now? I have work to do. And us. We are a chapter. She inhaled shakily. You were never just a chapter to me. I believe that, I said. But you still turned the page. The silence pressed in. Take care, Ela. You too. I ended the call. Then I muted the next one. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Her message came at 8:04 a.m. Vanessa. Is that you on Sunset? I saw it flash across my screen as Leo adjusted the mic on his recorder. She's gonna know it's about her, he said, not asking. She'll have to ask herself that, I replied. He grinned. You're brutal. I'm precise. Leo leaned forward. Let's talk about the campaign. The Billboard's minimalist, cryptic, all women-led credits. No announcement. No brand tie-in. Why? Because silence stings louder when you know you weren't included. He whistled. That's layered. It's intentional. He tapped the recorder. What's the story behind the tagline? We make what they borrow. I met his eyes. It's not a story. It's a mirror. Leo blinked, smiled like he understood more than he said. You always this quotable. only when necessary. My phone buzzed again. Her name. I flipped it face down. Leo glanced at it. You dodging someone. Letting them sit with it. She deserved that. She earned it. He nodded. Slowly. You're not loud. You're just unmissable. That's the point. He closed his notebook. So, what do I call this? Call it emergence. He stood, offered his hand. Call me if you want to escalate. I won't need to. As soon as he left, I picked up my phone. Vanessa. I'm calling you. Answer. She didn't get the silence she expected. She got the one I chose. I walked to the window. From 5 floors up, the billboard was just visible through the glass. Muted grays. A single red line. And me barely lit. Barely smiling. Strategic obscurity. The phone rang again. I let it finish. Then, finally, I texted. Me. One of many. The read receipt sat there for 10 minutes. Then it disappeared. I turned off my notifications. Picked up the folder marked Phase 2. Called Noelle. It's live, I said. She didn't ask what I meant. Reactions. She texted. Then called. Noelle chuckled. Bet she did. She'll go quiet now. Then she'll circle. Want me to track reposts. Just the high traction ones. Leo's running the story tomorrow. She's not gonna like that. She doesn't have to. Do we push the second location? Wait 3 days. Let her simmer. You want anger. I want recognition without reward. You've got it. I ended the call. 30 minutes later, an email came through from a mutual contact. Just saw the billboard. Stunning. Vanessa must be furious. I filed it at 3:17 p.m. She tried again. Vanessa, this is really what we're doing now. No emoji. No exclamation point. Just fragile punctuation and thin control. I didn't reply. At 4:02. A second message. Vanessa, you built that without ever telling me. Why? I typed. Then deleted. Typed again. Finally. Me. Because I didn't need your permission. She didn't respond. She didn't need to. She was already unraveling. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The studio was dim and calm. One mic. One lamp. Rena Kazmi sat across from me, barefoot under the table. Headphones on, smile quiet but sharp. All right, she said, leaning in. Let's begin. A soft click. The red light blinked on. So, Ela, she said, you've been called the architect of your own orbit. Do you feel like that's accurate? I smiled. Only if the orbit was built from rusted nails and borrowed light. Rena laughed, low and warm. You've got away with words. Occupational hazard. Tell me about the early days. When no one was watching. They were watching, I said, just not clapping. What kept you going? Resentment. Precision. A quiet refusal. Refusal of what? The idea that I needed someone louder to validate what I already knew. She paused, just enough. You've said before that your brand was born out of silence. What did that silence feel like? Like a room with the door shut. But the blueprint was already drawn. Rena nodded. There's a phrase you used once. Build where you were buried. Is that personal? All of it's personal. But not specific. I don't do specifics. Not even about betrayal? I smiled, slow. Not betrayals. Clarifications. She stilled. Clarifications. When someone shows you the fine print on the friendship you never signed. The red light blinked on. That line, Rena said softly, might just be the quote. Take it. I said. It's free now. She laughed. You're sharper than your reputation. I've earned the edge. Is it revenge? No, I said. It's reclamation. Rena leaned forward. You ever worry she's listening? She's always listening. Do you want her to? No, I said. But I don't mind if she hears. There was a beat of quiet. Then, what would you say to the person who underestimated you? Thank you. That's it? I needed the friction. She exhaled. Damn, you've thought this through. I've lived it. Rena tapped the table gently. One last question. Go ahead. What's the difference between being overlooked and being invisible? I didn't flinch. Overlooked is their mistake. Invisible is mine. She blinked. That's the clip. She whispered. I nodded. That's the truth. The red light went dark. Ela, Rena said, pulling off her headphones. That was something. Hope your listeners like calibration. They're going to light up. I stood, phone already buzzing. She grinned. What happens now? I read the first headline. Not betrayal's clarifications. Ela Monroe breaks the internet. I looked up at her. Now, she hears it from everyone else. Noelle slid her phone across the table. You seen this? I stared at the screen. A sunlit photo from 5 years ago. Vanessa's arm looped around my waist, her smile wide. My expression was softer. Tired, trusting at Vanessa Cross. So proud of my girl Ela. Knew she was a star from day one. Watching her soar is everything. I handed the phone back. She's playing the long con. She's rewriting the origin story. She's writing herself back in. Noelle frowned. People are eating it up. They always do. She tagged you, Ela. I'm not responding, she hijacked your moment. No, I said. She decorated my silence. Noelle looked down. Comments are calling her your day one. Your blueprint. She thinks flattery softens guilt. It's more than flattery. It's preservation. Her voice dropped. You think she's scared. She's erasing the line between support and sabotage. Again, she wants to control the narrative. She wants proximity without accountability. Noelle tapped the table. You really won't say anything. Correcting her would validate her. She made it look like she helped build you. I let her post it. Why? Because silence forces people to wonder. Noelle shook her head. You're colder than you look. I'm just done explaining. She nodded slowly. What do you want me to do with this? Archive it. She'll post more. Let her. Won't that confuse people? They'll figure it out. And if they don't, then they're not my audience. Noelle glanced at the screen again. God, look at your face in that photo. I see it. You look like you trusted her. I did. Noelle whispered. Did she know what she was doing back then? She always knew. And you let it happen. I met her eyes. Not anymore. She leaned back. You're not even tempted to clap back. Why fight a ghost? She's trending off your name. She's trending off the memory of one. Noelle exhaled. You're not just building a brand. You're burning the script. No, I said. I'm letting her perform while the curtains fall. My phone buzzed. Tagged again. Another congrats. Another misplaced applause. I turned it over. Let it ring. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. She was already seated when I walked in. Sunglasses on, smile loaded. You look amazing, she said, standing to hug me. I let her arms wrap briefly around my shoulders, then sat across from her. God, I feel like we haven't done this in forever, she said, peeling off her glasses. What's it been, 6 months? More? Something like that. Vanessa studied me. You've changed your hair. It works. I nodded. Thanks. She sipped her iced latte. So, Billboard queen, podcast icon, the Ela Renaissance. Meanwhile, I folded my hands. You reached out. Well, yeah. She smiled. Was I not supposed to? You can do what you want. Vanessa tilted her head. Okay. Weird energy. Am I in trouble? I didn't respond. She laughed lightly. Come on, don't be dramatic. I'm not, I said. I'm being direct. Her smile faltered. All right. Direct me. I saw the post. What post? The throwback. The caption. So proud of my girl Ela. Oh, she shrugged. I was just showing love. You were repositioning history. Her face froze, then softened with fox innocence. It was just a cute photo. People like nostalgia. You framed it like support. I was supportive. No. You were strategic. She blinked. That's harsh. It's honest. I didn't mean anything by it. But you did. That's the problem. Vanessa leaned forward. What are you really saying? That I see it now. All of it. The edits. The erasures. The positioning. I've always believed in you. You believed in what I could give you. Visibility. Credit. Reflection. That's not fair. It's accurate. She sat back. I never tried to hurt you. You didn't have to try. You just had to be casual. Her brows pulled in. Why now? Why are you saying this now? Because I finally don't need you to understand. Her voice lowered. So this is a goodbye. No. I said. This is a boundary. Vanessa's hands curled around her cup. You think I'm the villain. I think you're still performing. She looked away, jaw tight. I guess this is what success does. Makes people cold. No. It makes people clear. She blinked. I didn't expect this from you. That's because you never really saw me. Silence stretched between us. I hope, I said, that someday you'll learn how to be proud of yourself without shrinking anyone else. She didn't speak, just watched me like she was trying to solve something that no longer needed solving. I stood. I wish you well, I said. She didn't rise. I walked out, and for the first time in years, I didn't take her weight with me. Asterisk, 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 rain glossed the sidewalk. The storefront lights flickered in rhythm with the red of the traffic signal. I stopped in front of the glass and looked up, relay clean. Defiant, unapologetically mine. The billboard hovered above the city like a verdict. Below it, my reflection waited, framed by mannequins and muted luxury. A woman caught mid-thought. A version I used to walk past. She's tall, someone muttered behind me. I didn't turn. You okay? A stranger asked. Not unkind. More than, I said. Thanks. They left. I took a step closer to the glass. You came back, I whispered. She didn't flinch. You never left. I corrected myself. A voice behind me. That's you, isn't it? I turned. A teenager, maybe 17, holding a coffee like armor. I recognized the face, she said, from the billboard. I nodded. You built that. Yes. She blinked. How? One step at a time. She laughed nervously. No. I mean, how'd you know to start? I didn't. I just knew I couldn't stay still. The girl hesitated. You said something in that podcast about clarifications. I smiled. That line, it hit like deep. I saved it. Then it did its job. She stared up at the billboard. People like her think they get to define us. Right. Only if we let them. She looked at me. Did she ever apologize? No. Do you want her to? I don't need her to. She nodded, like she understood more than she should at her age. It's good to see someone make it out. Out. Of what? Whatever tried to keep them small. I held her gaze. You will, too. Her smile flickered hope wrapped in hesitation. Thanks, she said, turning to leave. For building it. For showing up, I replied. The glass caught my face again. Haloed in light from above, I reached out, fingertips grazing the cold. I remember you, I whispered. The woman in the reflection smiled back. She believed me. Finally. The rooftop was quieter than I remembered. No clinking glasses. No laughter. Just the hum of the city below, and the occasional gust teasing the hem of my dress. I set my shoes beside the railing and stepped barefoot onto the concrete. The skyline shimmered full of stories I no longer needed to chase. I lifted the wine glass to my lips. The stem balanced easily between my fingers. She wasn't here, and that, finally, felt like freedom. I closed my eyes, let the wind thread through my hair. Then I said it. I am special, not loud, not triumphant, just true. I opened my eyes. The words didn't bounce back or demand echo. They landed solid, rooted. Mine I turned slowly, taking in the full circle of night. Lights blinked in distant windows. A plane crossed overhead. Somewhere, a siren wailed. But it felt far away, distant, unimportant. I stepped to the edge. Not close enough to be reckless, just enough to feel the height. The same city that once muted me now moved to my rhythm. My name on signs. My face in reflections, my words in mouths that once doubted. But none of that defined me, not anymore. I lowered the glass and whispered again, softer this time. I am special. There was no audience, no applause, just me barefoot and sure. And for the first time in a long, long time, that was enough.